To the first episode of the Salle Computer Society's Inner Nook podcast. I am Kate Magbitang, your host for this episode. It has been about 7 months since I last hung out around DLSU, and one of the places I love to stay in was the Students' Nook, specifically the smaller room inside the Nook called the Inner Nook. The Inner Nook has been the place where many students from the College of Computer Studies hangs out in, may it be org-related meetings, project making, or sharing of various stories. With this podcast, we hope that we can revive the Inner Nook experience by sharing different stories and insights with one another. For this episode, we will be taking a trip down memory lane and reminisce about being a new student or a Frosh in DLSU. With me are 4 guests from LSCS who will be part of our kwentuhan for this episode. First, we will have our Vice President for Corporate Relations, Shannon Ho. Hello, Shannon. How are you?
Hi, Kate. I guess I can say I'm fine, with everything happening around. We just have to be fine. Cheers.
All right. That's good to know, Shannon. So next, we have our Executive Vice President for Externals, Noki Topacio. Hey, Noki, how are you?
Okay. Hope you guys are doing well also.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty well so far. Next, we have our Executive Vice President for Internals, John Gabriel Legaspi. Hey, Legs, how are you?
Hi, Kate. I'm doing great, actually. Thanks for asking. I hope everyone's doing okay, too.
All right. And last but not the least, we have our president, Rebecalyn Lao. Hi, Reb. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
All right. Wow, we actually have a solid lineup of guests today. So I just want to ask, how was your first week of the second term na full online ulit yung classes, no? Maybe we can have the same sequence as kanina. Can we start with Shannon? How's your first week, Shannon?
Talaga first? Joke lang. Anyways, so my first week was actually kind of heavy because I still had my internship for Monday and Tuesday. I didn't sleep that much like for the first 3 days because there were so many things happening around my personal life, my internship, and also especially sa orgs. Don't be scared. Especially sa org. So I had a hard time actually struggling to juggle all of them. But thankfully, I ended my internship Wednesday. So starting Wednesday, I got to sleep more na. So yeah. But aside from that also, I've been having lots of free cut for my academics. So yeah, I really had a lot of time to sleep since Wednesday.
All right, that's good enough that you got to catch up with your sleeping, no? Until now, I'm still trying to adjust to a normal body clock. So yeah, that's so nice to hear about your internship as well. I hope you learned a lot from it. Yeah. So next, we now ask Noki, how's your first week, Noki?
Hi. My first week was okay naman. The usual. I think it was pretty busy for the first week. Overall, I think what I really recommend for this week is their profs. And for me, I feel like my profs are okay lang. Like, I think it was better, to be honest. But then, profs are still good this year, this term, I think, especially for majors. So, yeah, I hope your profs are good also.
The first week talaga is more of like knowing what your profs can offer. Diba? Next would be Legs. How was your first week, Legs?
It was actually quite tiring, but not because of ACAD stuff. Actually, ACAD stuff has been pretty chill so far. It's more of doing org work and stuff at home. But it's been a good first week outside of that, considering things outside of being tired. And hopefully the following weeks will be chill also. Hopefully, especially since my thesis na. So sana di masyadong pamatay.
All right. Good luck on your thesis, Legs. So last but not the least, Rev. So how was your first week in the second online term?
Same lang din kay Lex since our classes same lang kami ng academics wise, di siya ganun kabigat. But then in terms of org, yun yung mas mabigat because we only had like 1.5 to 2 weeks to prepare na term break, diba? So madaming nagkahabol din during the first week. That's what made org life busy then during the first week. So yeah.
All right, that's good. At least the first week has been pretty eventful, but it's still, we're just starting the term, so hope that we had a good start to it. Grabe, no? Parang ngayon, we're all like having our majors na, and that we're juggling so much org work. Parang dati, when we were like Frosh, we weren't like this, right? Busy pa. What do you guys, right? Do you guys relate to it?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like though it was just Frosh Year that was really chill. Because the second year, every year, like second year super heavy ACADs, third year orgs, then fourth year thesis. So like, yeah, true. It's really just Frosh Year that's chill.
Yeah, parang I got to throw back yung Frosh days ko recently. Kasi parang I saw the pubs ng parang LPEP 2K20. Did you guys see that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. What do you guys think of like a digital LPEP? What do you think what is the 120's reaction, Rev? What do you think?
Sad na online yung LPEP nila. Kasi sobrang iba kapag pasok natin into college. We don't know anyone. So seeing them in real life, may effect yun sa parang kung sino nalapihan. So ngayon na online, parang it's hard for that to happen.
What about you, Shannon? I mean, both of us came from senior high, diba? So parang iba yung feeling ng LPEP natin since we knew the campus.
Yeah, actually. For me, I actually really had a hard time because I was really shy when I came. When I was still fresh. No, honestly, I was really shy. Tapos, I was familiarized. I was familiar naman with the campus, but then I had a hard time getting to know new people since it was a really new environment and I had no one. Unlike you guys, kasi unlike you guys, kasi diba STEM kayo? I was in ABM, so I think there's only one other ABM who's also a CCS student, which is Kimi. But like aside from her, I didn't know anyone else. So kahit na, diba sa first part ng LPEP, you all assemble in Henry C. Hall. It was super awkward. Like, nakaupo lang ako doon. Like, I was trying to talk to other people, but like, they were kind of dismissive. So, super, oh my gosh, where am I? Ganon. Tapos after that, wait, I'm not gonna make it lang na lang. Baka sasabihin yung dami kong sinasabi. Fast forward to the part where we all go to Yuchenko Hall. That was the first part when someone reached out to me. So, parang, it was already so hard for me to say hi to other people when it was physically. So, what more kapag online? You don't know how they physically look like and you just have to chat them, which is really, really, really hard. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really true now. But, trying to cope with the pandemic talaga, everything has to try to be in an online platform. Right? So, what about you, Legs? How was your experience? Do you remember what happened during your LPEP?
Yeah, actually. And sama-sama kami ni Rev and ni Noki sa LPEP, of course, kasi we were blockmates.
Oh, Black One!
Black one.
Yeah, but LPEP, it was weird for me because not gonna lie, majority of the people in my block came from Chinese schools, so they were kind of familiar with one another na. And then there's me coming from Green Hills, and some people are like, "Whoa, GH." That's just the reputation and all. Kind of made it intimidating at first to approach people, but I think all in all, it was still a very fun experience. It's my first time meeting my blockmates and all, and I made a few friends din naman there. So, yeah.
No, at least like madaming GH sa block natin. So at least there's some people you knew.
Yeah, that's true. But actually, at that time, I only knew 2 out of the, ilan ba yun? Five or 6. No. Mga 7 ata kami GH sa block. I only knew 2 of them outside of, myself nga. And
Wow. Yeah. Nakamiss nga yung LPEP and yung mga early days. At the same time, yun nga, with like the physical, since there's no physical like LPEP this year, no, that's the one thing that's lacking talaga. So next, let's just go around Frosh Year now. What was like your first day or week like, experiencing your new schedule, like the pace of DLSU? Yeah. I'll ask Reb again.
Me. What was it like? Masipag pa ako mag-aral nun eh. Every time na may free time, nag-advance study pa ako. Kaya hindi na. Yeah, I think yun yung pinaka nag-help sa akin siguro ng Frosh. Kasi diba yung sa start when you introduced sa programming. So, yun, sobrang nagsipag ako nun. And then, kasi going in Salle, sobrang nag-look forward talaga ako sa orgs ever since. So, yun, inaabangan ko yung recruitment time. Like, kailan siya mangyayari? Next week na ba? Ngayon na ba? Parang ganun.
Yeah. Noki, how was your first week or days as a Frosh back in 2017? Yeah.
27.
Well, you don't have to say it like that, dude.
Sorry, I'll say it again. How about you, Noki? How was your first week in DLSU?
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people don't notice, but before the first week of class, I don't know, we came from a 5-month summer, so it's super built up yung tamad Noki. So, in my first week of class, I was so like, I don't want to do this. Like, what is this? And I was nakakondo pa nun. So, like, my first week of class was all like Mineski, tech type days. And like, I was so like, I don't want to do this. But I don't know, it was literally just the first week that was like that. Because on the second week is when I started, talking to my blockmates more and meeting other people then. And I think that really got me interested in the whole college life in the first place. It was just meeting new people. Because I came from a really small school. I think, people would say it's a small school, right? So, and just meeting a lot of people is something really interesting to me.
All right. Thanks, Noki. What about you, Legs? How was your first week as a Frosh?
First week as a Frosh? Actually, I don't really remember na what happened nung first week ko as a Frosh. Pero, I'm an early bird always. I always get to school way earlier than I need to because I just ride with my dad when he goes to work. So I get to school at like 6:30 or basta before 7, and my classes are at like 9 or 11. So I really had nowhere to hang out nung start. So I was just at McDo or maybe at Gox once I got comfortable enough to hang out at Gox. But yeah, I was mostly alone in the mornings. Aside from that, I started to make a few friends na rin, which I still talk to today. So I think it was an okay first week naman.
Yes. All right. How about you, Shannon? How was your first week as a college LaSallian?
Well, I also kind of don't really remember. As a Lasallian ba? Or in
Or maybe like college. Like
college. Yeah, I kind of don't remember, but I also remember reserving seats on the first few days because you get this unspoken rule, quote unquote, that where you sit on the first day will be where you sit for the whole term. I don't know if it's a thing, but yeah, that's what I remember in my Frosh first week during my Frosh Year. And aside from that, siguro, yeah, I was also masipag sa first few weeks. I also advanced studied, and now I don't even study. No joke lang, I study. I study naman, but yeah, not that sipag. And then, yeah, actually I'm checking my IG story right now. But yeah, that's what I remember so far.
Yeah, I don't really recall that, Shannon, from our first classes since we were blockmates. But okay,
Yeah,
good to know. I guess for my fair share, so for LPEP, I remember trying to be approachable to not really everyone, pero majority. Kasi parang there was like this very little advantage of coming from senior high. So there was also the point that I actually helped one of the lamps tour. So messed up nga eh. But that's okay. I mean, it was fun naman. And for the first week of school, I wanted to treat it, first week of college, I wanted to treat it na parang it's a new beginning sa college. Like, back in senior high, I was like, quiet lang, like that person that just plays the music, plays the violin. Pero yeah, I wanted to change that talaga going to college. And yeah, in terms of ACADS, I think it was a given for not really all of us, but parang since first year pa lang natin, first week, parang ang sipag pa natin mag-work, since parang napapressure tayo sa college. But, now that we're in, now look at us, we're okay. We're okay. So about that, yes, we're in LaSalle now. Pero syempre, parang as the days go by, no, parang we still reminisce what happened during our high school. So, what were the different culture shocks, like the difference between college and high school, no? So, Legs, what can you say? The difference of GH and TAF?
Well, an obvious answer would be syempre all boys on GH and then co-ed TAF. Pero thankfully, I had yung experience ko sa GH was only high school. So before that, I was in a co-ed setting. So it wasn't really the biggest culture shock. Siguro for me, it's just how much different people are here. Because coming from GH, most of the guys are really rowdy, and how the class is handled is way different than how classes are handled here. Well, of course, it's also college, so you expect people to act more mature. But I was surprised, especially seeing some of my other batchmates from Green Hills, like how much more behaved they are. But at the same time, I'm also surprised at the different personalities that I encounter. There's a wide range of personalities, lalo na nung first week. Especially encountering, I didn't expect LaSalle to be mostly, I said this earlier, I'm gonna say it again, ang daming Chinese. And no offense, pero it's not something that I expected. I just found out when I got here, and I kind of accepted it na, because nothing's wrong with it naman. But that's probably the biggest culture shock for me. Suddenly people are talking in Chinese, or there's something in their culture that I don't understand, but I just try not to bother. I just accept it because, we accept everyone naman talaga dapat.
What about you, Shannon? Siguro you can compare, I don't know, you have a variety of comparisons, junior high, senior high, and college?
Okay, I'll say na lang my first thoughts nung senior high. So, coming from the province, everyone, actually, nung sa Zamboanga, the people there are really close-minded in a way. Like, those typical society wherein everyone knows everything about you and everyone judges everything. So when I came into senior high, it was kind of scary for me because I was so conscious like parang what if people think na I'm a weirdo or something. Ayun, shut up. I was just so pressured to be normal. It was hard to be normal. Yeah, I was kind of trying to be normal for the first month until I found, those group of people na you could be comfortable with. And that's when I finally, felt quote unquote normal now with the people around. And yeah, it was better than what I've expected. Because, I thought it was like sa TV, yung typical quote-unquote itchy people. There was none naman so far. Tapos especially, siguro nung college naman, I thought people were like, judgy and super, super smart. I thought everyone in CCS was everyone in CCS is smart, but I thought like, we're super, super, super smart that they're gonna judge me for being dumb. Yeah, that's how diba? Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Until now naman, I feel like so not smart compared to other people. But like, it's good to see people who's at the same level with you and you just laugh at how sabaw you both are or something. Yeah, I guess that's all.
What about you, Rev? College versus high school. Yeah.
College versus high school. Well, I guess yung sa akin parang pinaka different was na sa CS kasi puro lalaki. Tapos specifically pa sa amin sa CS na we're like 10 or less than 10 lang na girls. I don't remember yung specific count. Pero nasa ganun lang yung number of guests.
You guys were female.
Ano yun?
We were like 35. We were like 35 guys, 7 girls.
Ayun.
In our block.
That's our block. Tapos sa kabilang blocks, parang halos ganun lang din yung girls and guys na number. So, it was weird kasi I don't that we are the big group of guys. So, sa classroom, sobrang weird ng feeling for me. Kaya, nung first day, nakakasama ko lang all the time or kaya nagkaroon yung girls na pinagpagin ng isa namin prof kasi 4 kami galing Chinese na nagsistick together na babae.
Right. Key, what is like the big difference between high school and college?
Rich parents.
Really Ayan. Kasi I was only 81 in our batch in high school. And I came from an all-boys school in Southridge. So, yeah, like that. I guess I had more of a culture shock when I had girl classmates. But really, I don't know, I didn't feel too different. It was just like weird. It was weird at first. It was just like, oh, there's a girl in the classroom. Weird. But then, we adjusted naman, I would say, pretty quickly. Well, not really college versus high school, but like college in itself. One of the things that was interesting was like, especially in our block, was how easy it was to talk to everyone. I don't know, because just like I super like reflect on stuff, like whatever, about anything. So when I got to college, I was like everybody has that idea in their head, like what kind of person do I want to be? Ganun. So for me, I was just like, I don't know, I just want to be friends with everyone. And what I really love more about college is like, compared to high school, that nobody cared who you were or like where you came from. The one thing I knew about college is as long as you were nice, people would want to be your friend. So I was like, okay, I'll just, in my head, I was just to be nice and like talk to people, especially my blockmates. And then yun. And I think actually the whole batch actually
Yeah.
It was really easy to talk to everyone. Really easy to make friends then. Yun lang. I just that's what I like. You just have to be nice.
Yeah. Actually, wait, so I came from an all-girls school kasi. But then I went to LaSalle for senior high. And dun pumasok yung culture ng, like yun yung culture shock na from all girls naging co-ed. And yeah, this isn't Frosh anymore. But then like, when I was senior high, that's one thing I realized na parang, okay, all the stereotypical toxic all-girls culture is not in LaSalle. So that's one thing I did notice na different. But I guess also another difference was like the pace rin, no? So like from Saints was like semestral, then LaSalle was like trimester. So syempre mas may fast yung pace. So yeah, that was one of my culture changing stuff. So anyway, so with that, no, like the different the differences between college and high school. Was it fast for you guys to adjust? Like how long did it take to sink in na ay college na pala tayo? Ganon. What about Shannon? What do you think?
I still feel like I'm in senior high. Parang same lang kasi. I'm still in the
Third year na Shannon.
Don't say it like that. Actually, no, I just realized that now. I am not a big student. Ha, you're a senior.
Okay. You're older than me.
I have nothing to say.
But like in terms of LaSalle culture, like was it quick for you to like adjust to na, oh, it's trimester, the grading system's like this, communication? How was it?
Siguro, in terms of trimester, I don't know. I don't really adjust because I don't realize the date. You know, like I just go with it and I don't realize it's over. Parang ganon. So yeah, what's the other thing you said? Communication.
What else? I forgot.
Grading system, same siguro. Actually, I didn't mind about my grades before. I just get shocked minsan. Hala, I got this grade. Yeah. I think I started to care about my grade after I got a low grade nung third term. I forgot what year, basta somewhere in third term. And then I got a very low grade. I started to be a bit more grade conscious. Like, don't judge me, but like I have this sheets where I place all my grades there. I think a lot of people do that naman. So yeah, I don't feel weird with that. Ano pa ba? I think also it kind of sank in rin sa akin when I stayed sa GOX like almost all the time. Yeah. So yun. When you feel like GOX is home, I miss GOX.
Yeah, GOX is home talaga. But Rev, how long did it take for you to know na, oh, you're in DLX, yun na pala?
Hindi ko na-realize kung gaano katagal. Pero, yeah, I don't know. Pero kasi yung in terms of adjusting with everything, it wasn't that hard. Parang given yung kasama ko, always, like yung block. Kasi yun nga, like na-mention ni Noki kanina. Mabilis na naging close yung block namin, yung batch namin actually. Tapos, siguro yung parang point din kung saan nag-start na medyo mas naging close na talaga ng buo yung block namin is during second term. Doon kami naging close in legs kasi yung maaga kami pumapasok tapos 9 o'clock pa yung class. tabi din kami nun. So sometimes, sabay-sabay kami nag-aaral. Sipag pa namin nun, nag-aaral pa kami.
Uy, masipag pa ako.
Ayun nga eh. Tapos, third term, yun yung first time na tagal lang namin sa 117 na nasa GOX. I'm not sure kung 24 hours na yung GOX doon. Pero natatandaan ko parang deadline yun ng object PMP namin. Tapos, ang dami namin nasa GOX noon. Nag-gumagod PMP. Tapos may mga iba na tapos na. Makikita mo kasi scattered sa GOX lobby. Tapos, may sisigaw na, yes! Kasi nagpasa na sila. Tapos pupunta nila yung iba, Santa, stop, ganyan lang yan, tulungan. Tapos lahat nagpapanik, yung iba chill na lang, sige, okay na yan, kwentuhan na lang. And wala na.
I remember that so well, actually. As in, even in one of our classes last term. Stayed there. It's not like they went home, diba? They were just like, dude, I'm done. Then they just hung out with everyone else who was done. Just on the other hand, the people who were trying to finish it, every time they see someone finish, they get more heartbroken. They're like, no.
Wait, sorry.
Kate, did you remember entering the wrong classroom?
Do we had this? Oh my God. So, I led Shannon to the wrong on the very so marketing major. And we had to just exit at the back like we were never there. Anyway, I was so happy pa naman na, may friend ako dito. Tapos biglang mali. Anyway, what about you, Legs? I mean, how same pa rin yung LaSalle yung teachings, pero culture of TAP. Like, how was it adjusting?
Well, if we're talking about yung studies-wise, not really a big, at least nung Frosh Year, wasn't really a big problem, yung adjusting. I mean, introduction to coding, yeah, pero we kind of had some basics na nung high school ako, so hindi siya complete shock sa akin. Siguro yung biggest adjustment for me was like yung culture ng mga tao. I'm usually, when I entered college, I was more uptight and mas ako, super conscious ako about a lot of things. I was shy and everything. It's just refreshing to see na a lot of people, like Noki said earlier, wala naman masyadong pake kung where you came from or who you are. So you don't have to worry about being yourself. So that's probably the one thing that kind of took time for me to adjust. Like, being comfortable in my own skin and knowing that the people won't judge me. Ayun, actually, malaking tulong ang LCS doon when I was a junior officer. But yeah, aside from that, that's probably the biggest change, biggest adjustment lang for me. It's just, being comfortable. Even now, there's still times where I'm like not fully confident in myself or I'm still nervous in my own skin. But it's way better than what it was when I first entered LaSalle.
All right. Anything to add, Noki? Do you have any insights as well?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about adjustment, I think I had a huge adjustment that I had to make because that's what my dad also kept telling me then na, first 2 terms, before I entered college, he kept saying first 2 terms of college should be the ones where you work the hardest because that's the adjustment phase. Because honestly, like in comparison to college, high school is like really easy, I think. Especially, no, not there. I was gonna say where I came from, it was easy. Oh no, I think that's kind of true. In Southridge, it was kind of easy. So when it came to college, I really had to make that adjustment. More hardworking, to study more, just so I could pass the class. And yeah, that's for like what you said, but took a long time for me to realize na, oh wow, for me to start saying like, dude, we're in college. Like I would always tell one of our blockmates who was my, who was also from college, so he was also our blockmate. I kept telling him like, dude, we're in college, man. It's so crazy because like, yeah, it's just a really liberating feeling how free and independent you are in college, and especially given that, especially if you're like if you're condo life and that. I think it makes a big difference. Yeah, I'm sure you can relate Kate to that because you condo.
Yeah, that's true. I know. All that how to say condo life. Yeah. At least I had my own independent life and entering college. But then you call that home away from home was still there. That's fine. Yeah, at least I got more opportunities to hang out with different people, right? Because like parang 24/7 na sa Tafren. So yeah. Okay. So sorry. Okay. So with that, parang now that we talked about adjustment to DLSU culture, ganon. So next is I actually want to know like what any notable stories that you guys have during Frosh. So I can start na lang for this. So hala, oh, well, Shannon knows this. Pero I think it's kind of common sa Frosh na kapag may grade na ang tignan, you just cry. And then I remember just being after in box and I was like, I failed this subject, Shannon. Then I was so worried. Someone will enter the bathroom. Ganon. Wait, that's not a story that I wanted to I guess I think factor in yung because in senior high before, they had the 24-hour GOX thing na. That's when it launched. Pero bawal pa yung senior high nun. Because I guess, I don't know. I forgot the reason why. But once I was in college na, super sinulat ko yun. Like, kahit may condo ako, doon pa rin ako nagsistay sa GOX. Then, naalala ko pa yung mga times na I go there at midnight just to get Wi-Fi. Even though it's not so safe. Ayun, I always just stay there because of Wi-Fi. Ayun. Also, a lot of stories na parang LCS, JO, you got to meet a lot of upperclassmen. Tapos yung Frosh walk rin. Yeah, ang dami kong shiner. Wala naman note. So next is Rev. What do you remember from your Frosh year?
Dami. Notable. Well, kanina yung sa FB. That was really funny to look back at that.
I know one story. You can
Sige, ikaw
go. Then, it's Rev's story. Pero kasi,
What's my story?
Groupmates kasi kami ng well. And then...
no, stop.
Go, tell a different story.
Finish na.
Sorry.
Madaming mas okay na stories. Pero, I don't know, kasi diba sa batch ko, parang sobrang solid nung nating 6, at least, like yung TEDs, and then appointed kami. Tama na ba appointed kami?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ayun, so 6 parang 21 na parang sobrang parang we had so much ideas kasi we don't know anything sa processes, so we had to learn everything on our own. Tapos, yung FRA ko, wait ko yung damit.
Yeah.
Grabe.
Sana all may FRA!
Sana all.
Pero yeah, ano siya, yun yung isa sa first few events na parang we're like, oh, this has to happen para so that we can have more events, ganon. So, yung I was the executive treasurer ng batch gov namin nun. So, ako may handle ng FRA. And I was learning the FRA process ever since first term. Tapos third term namin na-execute yung FRA. Ganun katagal ko inaral yung process and all that. Ang daming balik-balik na pending. Tapos, kulang ng ganito, kulang ng yan. Supplier and all that. Pero it was so cool. Kasi, na-problema din kami nun kasi we didn't have sample shirts na makikita ng tao and be like, oh, I like this, gano'n. So, lahat based on pictures, based on size charts lang. Ang cool na ang dami pa rin bumili sa amin. We had like 2 shirts, like this one I'm wearing. And we also had, ayun lang, ang cool. That's one of it. Tapos there's the Frosh Boulevard, there's this na during CS week, na Frosh week. Sinabi. Pero yun yung batch. There was this one activity na we did na block wars. So, CCS 117, tapos may bucket list challenges. Tapos ang cool lang nun kasi yung mga ibang tao na di mo expect magpo-post. Especially from Block 2 kasi si Block 2 medyo mahihain sila. Magpo-post din ng mga challenges. Yung mga challenges is like posting a cover or parang like to yung mga ganun. Tapos it's so cool na lahat ng blocks. It's so cool na lahat ng blocks nag-participated doon. And sobrang naging competitive yung mga blocks doon sa dulo. Batch Gov really helped a lot in terms of really close. So yun. Pero syempre there's also the LSU's JO experience, which is another thing pa. So yun. I'll stop there.
Okay. What about you, Legs? You did mention that JO like enlightened you kanina. So, any story about that? Or you can share anything else naman.
Actually, yung share ko about my related to JO experience because I think some of my funniest or like highlights talaga happened there. Kasi na-mention na ni Reb yung sa Block Wars namin before. When I was a JO, like I mentioned before, I wasn't super comfortable in my own skin at first. It wasn't until maybe like second term or third term ng JO ako na talagang naging comfy ako. And one of the things that I won't forget is, I think JOGA ata siya. Or like, basta team building with the officers din kasi alala ko may officers. And there's this one game that we were playing and I think you have to guess, like you're gonna hear the song, but there's no lyrics. And then you're gonna have to run from the front to the back and then tap the wall and then say the name of the song.
That's Alohana.
No, it's not. Kasi, I would know if it's Alohana. May ganyan na games, Alohana, but I didn't, this happened. It's
different pa. Okay, never mind.
So, up to this point, wala ako masyadong kilalang officers, more or less mga JOs lang. Batchmates ko kasi most of the JOs. But then, when it was my turn to play, I heard the song and I really wanted to help my team win. And I wasn't thinking na, I accidentally pushed back yung person sa right ko. It was an officer. It was a girl pa. And hindi ko na malaya na na-push ko siya until I reached the end and I shouted the name of the song. And then, ayun, some of the other officers, I thought they were gonna make a big deal out of it in a bad way. But they actually just laughed it off. Na parang, oy, grabe, huwag niyang gagalitin si Legs. Kung hindi, lagot kayo. Ganun. Oh. It was actually Ray who said that. And after nun, from that point onward, mas naging involved ako mas naging comfortable ako. Syempre, I said sorry for what I did because it was an accident. And from there, siguro yung other most notable thing from when I was a JO is doon din nag-start ang aking career as a dancer for the organization. um, So before college, I don't like. I mean, I like dancing, pero yung slow dancing, pero yung actual dancing, and especially listening to music like K-pop and stuff was something that I didn't used to do. Pero when JO grad came around, people were like, "Oh, the JOs have to dance, and legs you have to dance." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. What are we gonna dance? K-pop." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I don't know how to dance that. I can't practice that. Someone has to teach me." So I was with my other JO friends, sila Melody Jaime, and we got someone who wasn't a JO, si Ira, and she taught us the dance. And I had to do like kind of a split. It wasn't really a split, pero kind of a split at the end of the dance. So when I knew that was gonna draw in some reactions, but after that, like after practicing for that and dancing, like in the actual JO grad performance itself, sobrang nakakapagod, pero sobrang nakakatuwa. Kasi parang, okay, like, I'm dancing, I know I don't dance well, mukha akong tanga minsan, pero, you know, people enjoy it and they find it nice. They just laugh it off. And ever since then, when I became an AVP, kahit last year na I was a VP, some people would ask me, "Oh, Legs, do you want to dance for intermission?" And I'm like, "Pwede naman."
Yes, I like confidence.
Character development or something.
Isang sample
Alam niyo na yung pang intermission niya soon.
Oh no, please no.
What about you, Noki? Any Frosh experience that you want to share? Or moment?
Most notably, like what Jeb said, same Jeb, is batch gov stuff. Because batch I guess that was my best way to meet my batch mates. What can I share? That wait lang. I don't know. I think Frosh Year was mostly just getting to know a lot of people. Like, syempre, I got close with others. You know, I got closer to some more than the others. Like, I think most notably lang was how one of my goals was to get to know everyone in my batch, which sounds okay, but it wasn't that hard because we were only small batch, like 70 something. And I guess I'm sorry. I don't know. There's just not much interesting to share aside from the fact that, you know, I really tried to talk to everyone and everybody tried to talk, and everybody not tried to talk. Everybody talked to me back naman, even when I was annoying them. Why all this stories I'm thinking over? Parang yung setting ng kwento ko. It's like V-Bar and beach. I don't know why those videos stories are about. I don't know, okay. Sige, ano na lang. I guess one story is how I was able to, because I came from an all-boys school. I think one funny thing that I found funny is how I was able to find like a group of bros right away. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Because I have like we have like a group in our block. Everyone has subgroups naman in their block. And for me, I just found it funny how the people I gravitated towards right away were like super yung parang bro, pare type of stuff. Na until now, we really close, man. We still talk all the time, we chat and stuff. And it's always fun that it's always fun when you're able to find a group that you're able to hang out with. Aside from, of course, even though I had that group, there's still a lot of other groups of people that were really welcoming, that really just wanted to be friends. You know, medyo lame stories.
Alright. So interesting. Just saying. Anyway, what about you, Shannon? You remember any
joke lang.
stories?
I'm gonna make it short. I was going through my Instagram stories. Because like, I feel like number one would be, wait, let me go back. Where is it? Number one is when the first few weeks of school, when all the girls of Insys would actually tambay in the special place sa Gok. The one,
Oh yeah, I remember
yeah, that. Tapos parang we always,
the locker room secret
diba?
or thing, yeah.
Sad, wala na siya. Tapos,
Yeah.
I think another would be when we would actually, remember the time when we went to your condo and then we all ate a huge ass pizza?
Yeah. I remember it was such a random treat. I don't know why I did that. Yeah.
Ikaw ba Oo nga, no? Baka naman, Kate, gusto mong ulitin. Tapos I feel like
When we get that.
at least, when we get back to task, what if we don't? Joke lang. I think
Shannon.
I think
Okay.
last would be when we applied for ROTC. Yeah. Oh, wait, pinaka-last na. When we went to karaoke, tas right after, we went to the General Assembly, GA for LSCS.
Those were very early Frosh, like term 1.
Yeah, I miss those moments. Hi.
Actually, it's only after everyone said their story that's when I remembered all the other Frosh things I had. Yeah, from Batch Gov and CSG. Tapos, ayun. Yun nga, yung mga block moments. Yeah. Those are pretty solid, no?
Solid.
Yeah, solid. So yeah, actually all the stories were so nice to hear. Super malaking throwback knowing na we're third and fourth year na, no? Grabe. So now, as we, try to conclude this episode, now is the time to say what are our tips to the Frosh, to the ID 120 this school year. Siguro, let's start with Shannon.
Shannon.
Hear hers.
Well, I feel like one tip would be don't place yourself in a box. Always know that there's a lot of space for you to grow. So if you get a chance where you can grow or you can learn something, shoot your shot. But also remember to limit yourself. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
And also take breaks, especially during this time when we're all, sitting and parang in front of our computers. You also have to take some time to walk around the house. Yeah.
Self-care is important, no?
Yes.
For me, my tip is don't be afraid to try. And yeah, I know it's a bit hard now. We couldn't meet one another for physical support. Pero always remember that there's always going to be people who will be by your side always and open to support you no matter what. Yeah. That's like a message to myself as well, no? Pero this is for the Frosh. Next is legs. What's your
tip for the Frosh? Siguro okay, it's kind of same with what you guys have said there, but it's really just about not being scared. Or if you feel like you've hit a bump in the road, don't stop. Or maybe, something that I realize is not everyone grows the same way. So if let's say your friend is doing well as a officer in this certain organization and he's really enjoying there, and you decide to, okay, maybe I'll be part of that org, but you don't really do well in that org, don't be discouraged, because there are so many things that you can do and so many things you can excel in. It's just a matter of, trying things out and seeing where you'll do great. And I think that's something that a lot of people are scared to do. Like, oh, if they try this and it doesn't work out, they just give up. I feel like that's something that would be useful for the Frosh to keep in mind.
Alright, that's good. Parang, message to self rin yun eh. Anyway, it's okay. What about you, Noki? Any tip for the Frosh?
Yeah, so my tip, or two tips, be yourself and play to your strengths. It's like, wait, sorry. Okay. So my tip for the Frosh is to just be yourself and play to your strength. Because honestly, like, it's so easy to compare yourself to others. At the start of college life, especially. But like, what I've learned to find out is that everybody is good at something, and not everybody is good at the same thing. So for the Frosh and CCS, if you're not expert at coding, if you don't think you're good at like management, that doesn't mean that you're not meant to be here in CCS. It just means that you still have to find out what you're good at. And once you do find out, but keep working on that and keep using it to your advantage. Just try to put your best self forward whenever you face new challenges. And you're gonna be successful. You're gonna grow a lot.
Noki. Lastly, Rev, what are your tips to the Frosh this year?
Tips for the Frosh this year: to live in the moment. Make the most out of being Frosh. Kasi mamaya, isang pikit mo lang na mata, 4th year ka na. So, yun. Enjoy being where you're at right now. Tapos, don't stress too much about, like, parang ganun. Ayun, live in the moment.
Just like what Rev said, live in the moment. And I hope that everyone learned a lot during this episode. I find it very, very insightful. I hope this helps a lot of people, not only just the Frosh, but other members of different organizations in the Lasallian community. With that, I want to give my biggest thank you to all the guests today: Shannon, Reb, Noki, and Legs. Thank you for being in this episode. And I will see you soon on the next episode of the Inner Nook podcast. I am Kate Magbitang, and this is Inner Nook podcast. Thank you and have a great day.